Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another session of our Ed Talk series. This afternoon, we're super happy to host and give a very warm welcome to Miss Maria Cristina Dusolier Grinda. Miss Cristina is accompanying us today on behalf of the Wingate School. She is the head of character. Welcome, Miss Cristina. How are you?
Your microphone is off.
I'm sorry, we've lost practice with Zoom. I was telling you that I'm thrilled to be here. I always tell my students that I'm giving them the opportunity to show good character because I struggle a little bit with my English, so they can be patient and kind. So I guess you all have the same opportunity with me. I'm happy to be here.
What a great introduction. Thank you so much. It's our pleasure to have you to host you. My name is Andrea Ferrari. A warm welcome on behalf of Whole Schools International. I'm the CEO and founder, and together with my colleague, Miss Gabriela. Hello, Gabby, how are you? Miss Gabby Gonzalez Pacheco, she's the director of programs at Whole Schools. Together, we've created this innovative space to inspire conversations around education during these times of change, these challenging times. For Whole Schools, education, we believe, is transforming, and those pillars for a transformation that is future-proof are certainly those based on well-being of our educational communities, the happiness of our students. Of course, innovation plays an important role, and equity. And today we've invited an expert, a leader in the topic of character and practicing character, solving the puzzle of character education, because we believe that through different experts and their international perspectives, we can guide our educational communities as we are co-constructing this new landscape in education. So to begin our conversation today, Ms. Cristina has prepared a very interesting conversation around the puzzle of character education, how we solve it. And to start our conversation, we have an interesting point. Is character something that we can teach? Can it be taught? And what is it really? What is character?
Okay, so as you said, I really enjoy puzzles. That's something I discovered in recent years. So I'd like to to first. I remember the first time I have a puzzle in my hands, I can't. You have no idea how thrilled and how terrified and how excited I am. And I open the box and it's like all new. And I think it happens the same with character education. Sometimes you see pieces all over the place, but you have to approach character the same way you approach solving a puzzle, that it can be done, that it's meant to be solved. And there are some steps you have to take in order to make it happen. So yes, definitely it can be solved. There are many strategies, many ways. There's a whole community involved in making this happen, but it can, and it's terrifying and it's thrilling, and each puzzle is different, each kid, each school, but there are like some rules that I'd like to share with you, or some strategies that can be used in every situation that will help you develop character. And just to like, yes, I'm sorry.
No, sorry. It's just that you just reminded me of a conversation that we used to have with some colleagues about, when you are helping to educate children, there are parts of the puzzle that are given, no? Like, as you said, those puzzle pieces, you don't choose them, they're there, no? So children come with a natural set of talents. They come with a distinct set of characteristics for a personality. But as you said, and I love the way you frame it, is something that you can construct together with them and figure out as you go along. So I love your imagery of a puzzle. I completely agree. It's just and I think we should all embark on that, with that attitude of it's something wonderful to be discovered, no, instead of just being
and
frustrated.
And I think that's the first approach we need to have. Like, we don't have all the answers. There are things we're going to figure out, in the way, but it can be done. It has been done. And I would like also to add that no educator works alone. So our work has been inspired by Tomás Licona. We are part of the Jubilee Center of Values and Virtues. We are, as the Wingate School, we are members of the ACE, and I believe that any teacher should always be a student, should always learn, should always listen. Sometimes we as teachers love to talk, and we should learn to listen, because there are many other colleagues doing the right things, and we should start this kind of conversation. So congratulations with this space, and I hope we all learn and we all contribute something. So I would like to walk us through the puzzle. And the first thing I'd say is, whenever I have a new puzzle, I start by making the edges, and that happens also with character. You have to build a framework. So that's a conversation any center needs to have. What are we looking for? What tools are we going to develop to create character? Why is this important for us? Because in order that you answer those questions, that's your framework, that's going to give you the answers of how to continue building your puzzle. So there's a conversation that needs to take place in any center. Who are we? What's important for us? What kind of students do we want? What kind of teachers do we want? What kind of families and parents do we want in our community? And why is this important? And that, I would say, is like building the first part of the puzzle, the framework. Okay, that would be like my first approach. So I don't know.
You would say it's a process, no? And I think that's something so important that you're saying, because many times we want to believe that we're done. No, you come to a certain point where that's it, it's finished, but it's not true, right? I mean, people continue to have this ongoing process of growing and discovering, even at later age. No, at the later age, you continue to do this this process, correct?
Christina, would you say that you are born with certain traits that define where your character begins? And is personality a synonym to that, or is it temperament? So you're talking about creating a framework, which I guess is, a great thing to have in order for, as you said, all the different members of the community are actively contributing, the role of parents, the role of teachers. But would you say, in your expertise, because I know that you hold a degree in educational sciences, I know that you're an expert in emotional skills, I know that child's mental health and well-being is a strong part of your background, and over these 15 years of teaching and learning experiences and engaging with students of all ages, would you say that there is a starting point that we're born with specific traits? And what would those traits be that we would prize as we start on our journey of character development?
Sure. I mean, there are definitely some things that we all have, but it would be, I think, reductive to say that you only have temperament or some definitions and you're not able to get better or to acquire habits, virtues. I mean, we are always growing, we are always changing, and character education is actually that, like a delivered effort to achieve virtues and values in our children, because we are teaching every single moment as role models. We are teaching character, even though we are not aware of it. And character education is like shifting that mindset to make it a deliberate effort to build whatever is good, praisey behaviors in our children. Character can be taught, caught, or sought, and the community needs to create these environments. There are many strategies and many ways where children can pick those good traits that you are looking for. That's why I was talking about this framework. First, you have to define, where are we going? What virtues would we like to build in our children, in our community? Like, are we only interested in our children acquiring knowledge, or in being good, ethical people? And that's a discussion that needs to take place. So everything follows after that. And that's why I always like to think as all the members of the community like the different parts of the puzzle. You know that the pieces are different, but each and every one of them has its place. And the puzzle is never complete without one of the pieces. And that's what builds character. We can think our children to be like different puzzles with different traits, with different personalities, but we actively help them get all together. So that's why it's very, very important to know what we're looking for as a community and to act upon it. So yeah, definitely character is something that can be taught and that children can make their own. What we want finally is for them to know what's good, desire what's good, and choose what's good. And that would also help improve their communities.
Christina, I love the idea of role models. It's so important. We thinking about the role of mentors and mentorships, and within the school, would you say there are character champions? I think I heard you say that the way that we behave towards and around children has much more influence in their character development than if we only tell them about how they should behave or not behave. And I understand that at the Wingate School, one of the most impressive or part of the philosophy is to strive to learn and to serve. And I understand that plays a big part in what you're saying. So are there character champions? How do we role model this? What is it like in terms of a mentorship, and how is that developed?
Okay.
Sustain that?
The way we are approaching it is like you need to take steps. No, we talked about this being a process. So you have to be very clear where you want to go. Okay, that is to develop good character in your students, to be a community of character. So the first step is like to create these lessons, this space to have character lessons. You know, to know what's a praise virtue, how can you achieve it, how can you recognize it. But that's only the first step. Miss Helen, who's also like a very amazing character teacher, always says that character is the plate where everything else is served. Character is not something exclusive to the teachers who talk about virtues. If I am, I don't know, I'm talking about justice, but I'm not being fair with my students, then the message will never get there. If I'm talking about kindness, but I'm not able to do as a teacher something extra for a fellow teacher, then my actions are amazingly loud, louder than any word I can say. So that's why character is so amazing, because it doesn't only transform I don't know, your students or your school, it transforms you. You are part of this process, and you are continually like choosing to be a better person. And if that's something the whole community leads, then that's the way that you start building a different world, actually, because you are deliberately choosing to be a better person. You are aware of what is important for you and what should be important for your students. And then you can see any moment as a teaching moment. Every opportunity of the day is an opportunity to build your character. Mm-hmm. And that creates learning spaces in your practical life, like in any moment. I remember once I was in the break, in primary break, and I went over to a little girl and I told her, oh, you know, I haven't been in the school for so long. So can you tell me what's the most important thing in our school? She was, I don't know, 7 years old. And she said, the most important thing is to be kind. Be sure to always be kind. Don't shout, don't be mean. If you learn that, you have learned everything that's important in our school. So it is definitely doable. It definitely is a process, because you have to change your strategies. Every kid is different. But if you know that you can achieve it, and it's something important, and you take the time to talk with your community about these things, you know that puzzles have different pieces, different shapes. So I always think of the 3 most important shapes. One is, of course, the teacher, you know, because you teach what you are. And you have to take the time as a community, as a school, as academic council to have these conversations, to get them to know why this is important, how character is not something extra, how developing good character can solve behavior issues, can solve respect problems. I mean, it's part of what makes a school work. The second piece of the puzzle, of course, is the student who builds the community. Now we are like switching, and the community is the puzzle. Of course, students build and learn and thrive. And I'd say that my latest discovery is the importance of parents as another piece of the puzzle. The puzzle would never be solved without them. And that's something I need, that we have to bring to the table as well, because sometimes we think of parents like, please don't enter my school, please. We are like different realities. And if you don't make them part of what's happening in your school, then you won't be able to teach character, because the kid will have something said at home and something said at the school. So bring the parents, listen to your parents, create committees, let them be part of the decisions of what virtues or values you need to work on your school. Let them bring different ideas of how to live these values. We in our school have something called the Wingate Way that came up like in a very, I don't know, in a very organic way, because parents were telling new parents, no, the Wingate Way is to choose simplicity. We don't need big, super gigantic parties. We only need to be together. The Wingate Way is to choose fairness over winning every football match. So if you take the time and really invest in your parents, that's I'd say the only way, because if not, they're only good intentions, but it's really, really hard to achieve your goal.
I think
And that's the difference, no? Sorry. We started together.
No, it's an important reflection, no, that making parents, students, teachers, and the community responsible by co-creating and having a protagonist role, each of them in their own way, space, it makes it count all the more, and then hold them, of course, accountable towards what you're building together. No, go ahead, Gabby. Sorry, I cut into you.
No, I was just going to reflect that that's something that connects with student success in real life. No, because we may talk about academic achievement and we may talk about grades, but that's not what makes the difference. I think the difference is within that character formation, where you truly, give them the set of skills, values, outlooks on life that really prepares them to deal with whatever they need to deal. Because, as far as we're used to comparing academic results, well, you can have a lot of students having the same academic results, but what would make the difference is that character that would turn them into leaders, that will give them a profile of serving others, of really going beyond. So, and yes, I agree with you. The part where you get the family involved is essential. And yes, a lot of schools sometimes like to pretend that parents can be pushed away, and so that the school can do what they need to do and just get out of the way, which is, I think, a missed opportunity. Parents are a powerful force if they work together with you. If not, well.
Sure. And I think that this is like the shift that we've created at the Wingate School, because it's about community. It's about building something together. And that's the only way. Mr. Wingate always talks about how home is school number one and we are school number two. But it doesn't matter if we are not aligned, if both schools speak different languages. So that's something that I believe all educational institutions should really take time to look and to talk with their families and say, like, what are you expecting from us? What do you need? How can we make this work? And to listen and to create these spaces where you are all working towards the same goal. And I just wanted to share one of my favorite quotes from Heraclitus. He's not very actual, very on date, but he's very good. He said that character is destiny. And I couldn't agree more, because it's actually your will, your self-control, your virtues, what make the difference and what really make you have an impact in life. I mean, you can have all sorts of knowledge about things, but if you're not capable to putting the effort to living with value and virtue, it's very, very hard to create an impact in this world. So this is something that we care about. We want them to thrive. We want them to make this world a better place, and to hold them accountable as well, and to know that they are privileged and responsible of what happens. So that's something really, really important in our school.
I think that you're talking about something very, very human, human potential. You talked about this trait that is unique to humankind, and it's embedded in the word. So human, kind, let's be both. Kindness, you talked about your students saying that it's the most important thing at school. I remember being at the Wingate School and being interviewed by some students and saying, hey, what is kindness for you? And hey, do you think the world will be a more kind or hostile place in the future? And they had this true concern to really figure out what was important. And I think that it's a true measure of how important character and these values are that are instilled in them, that they're practicing them, no, with adults that are visiting the school. So going back to how we're preparing our children and the character formation, as Gabriela was saying, within skills and values, I think it's all about the human potential, right? And how we can make our students more they are privileged. It's a privilege for us to have you here today, Ms. Christina, sharing all that you do and learning through your actions and your experience. Would you share with us, as we start to wrap up our program, and for the audience, for the teachers that are watching, the families that are watching, for the leaders that are watching us this afternoon, perhaps you can give us one of your most successful practices, or where we can begin towards striving, learning, and serving, and getting on this path of character development together.
Okay, well, I just wanted to say that what I'm always thinking about whenever I have an interaction with some of my kids or with even with colleagues is, what can I do? What can I bring to the table to make this other person flourish? Like to get out the best in this person. And talking about like practical things, we have many tools. We have our character class, where we have many programs that we follow from the Jubilee Center and the input that we bring. We also have another very important tool. Is we were talking about how this is a process, and how learning means sometimes you'll get it right and sometimes you won't get it right. And if you leave it there will be no lesson learned. So we have the agenda where students have, it has a part that it's about reflection. You need to reflect on who you are, how's your work doing, how are you going to take things different the next time, how can you be better, what did you learn? So we have like all these different spaces for kids to learn, to reflect. We also have morning meetings, because it's, I don't know, I would like to end with this. Character is destiny, but character is also connection. Character is about connecting with each other, to being part of something, and this connection makes you want to serve. I really love our motto, which is strive, learn, and serve. And this service is a huge part of what we do in character. We have many social responsibility programs for primary as well as secondary. In secondary, they are developing their own projects. And it's like, grow with this mindset that you can flourish, but you can also help others flourish. And that's like, I don't know, an obligation and a privilege, both. And when you see these little puzzles being complete, and I think that as a teacher, we all want to have that like transcendent feeling, like we've gone beyond that this person will be different, will be better, will be whole because of what he or she lived in our school. So it's definitely hard, but it's definitely worth it.
Well, I think that's a wrap. It's a wonderful way to conclude that it's a process, and it's, it starts when they're very, very young, and it starts before you're born, right? We're born with this part that is then taken to its potential, full potential, and flourishes. As you said, it will flourish, and it is in us to bring out the best in others. Thank you for reminding us of that. What a beautiful way to think of what one ourselves we can bring to the table. And with that in mind, we're going to give our thanks to the Wingate School, to Miss Cristina Dusolier Grinda, who is definitely having an impact, making a difference for all the students that are so privileged to be taught and under your mentorship. We also thank Tom Wingate for providing this opportunity to be closer to your community. And we greatly admire the work that all of you are doing. Thank you for letting us be a part of this puzzle in character education. And we'll be in touch very soon, dear Cristina. Thank you for your time this evening.
No, thanks for having me. I'm really, really excited about, well, of course, teaching character of the school that I adore, and to be part of this conversation with you. Thank you very much.